During my time at school, I had seen a lot of my friends and teachers taking notes, highlighting stuff on their textbooks and rereading their textbooks multiple times before any exam or before any test. So, research has proven that these techniques don't work. I mean, they're still better than reading a book only once, but as compared to other techniques such as framing techniques, Zettelkasten method, active recall, and spaced repetition, they are way worse, they lag far behind it. Now, I wanted to make this video because I have seen a lot of my friends and even myself making this mistake, and I don't want you to make the same mistake because you will be wasting a lot of your time. Now, I have made a blog post about the same thing on why highlighting, rereading, and taking notes don't work. And I also discussed 2 more techniques that you can use to improve your learning and learn anything more efficiently. So in this video, I'll be discussing 2 techniques. One is Zettelkasten method. Now, it is a note-taking method, but unlike other note-taking system, it is far more efficient. And the second technique is the Feynman technique. Now, Feynman technique allows you to gain a deeper understanding on any particular topic, allows you to remember that topic for a longer period of time, and allows you to test yourself on that topic so that you are for sure that you know everything about that topic. So let's start by talking about the Zettelkasten method. Now, Zettelkasten method is developed by a German sociologist by the name Niklas Luhmann, and he has written more than 70 books and 400 articles in his lifetime, which is totally insane. And in one of his interviews, he said that it was all effortless for him because of the technique that he has developed, now known as Zettelkasten method. Now, there's a whole book about it by the name How to Take Better Notes by Snoeke Ahrens. If you're interested, you can read it out, links in the description. But I will be going in brief on how you can implement Zettelkasten method, and instead of reading a more than 100 pages book, you can watch this video. The key idea of Zettelkasten method is that whatever you're reading right now, whatever you're thinking right now, you should be able to utilize that later in later stages of your life. For example, if I read some good 10 points about investing today, and for example, after 6 months I have to write an article on it, I should have notes in such a way that I can easily read those 3 sentences and I can write a whole article about it. I can easily convey my message without losing anything. Now, there are a few points that you need to keep in mind while using the Zettelkasten method, and I will be discussing each point with you right now. So the first thing is that you should be very selective about what note you are taking. Because what happens when we highlight stuff? When we highlight stuff, we tend to highlight our whole book, and if it's a technical book like physics book or chemistry book, then obviously almost all the things are important. That's why they are in the book, and we tend to highlight the whole book, and unhighlighted part becomes the highlighted part because it's easier to differentiate than the highlighted part itself. So we don't want to make the same mistake. We want to limit ourselves on how much we can write. According to Zettelkasten method, your one note should not be more than 3 sentences. Yeah, that's it, 3 sentences. Now, I would recommend you to limit yourself on how much you're writing from one page. For example, people will take 10 notes on one page. Now, you should not do that. You should think to yourself, is this thing really resonating with me? Is this thing challenging my previous ideas, previous thoughts? For example, if I'm reading in chemistry, then I was earlier familiar with Rutherford's model of atom. But for example, now I read about Niels Bohr's model of atom. So that challenges my previous ideas, previous thoughts. I should definitely note it down. But if it's something that I feel it's important, it's kind of important, then leave it out. If you really think that it's going to come in the exam, it is very important, it resonates with you, then only take note of it. If it's something that you have never heard of, that you want to research more about, and that you're really interested in, take a note of it. The second idea is that you should take handwritten notes. Now, why handwritten notes? Because if you simply write it down on your laptop or your computer, you tend to copy the same thing which is already written in the book. And it happens with us a lot of times that when we write something down, even in the textbook itself, then we tend to copy the same thing written on the textbook. So ideally, you should read it, and then in your own words, you should write it down. So what happens is that when you write it down in your own words, you are forced to think more, your brain works more, and there's a lot more processing going on. And when that happens, you're not copying, you're not allowed to copy, and you use your previous ideas, previous thoughts, and then you combine it with what you are writing. And that allows you to first of all remember it more, and secondly, it doesn't take it out of the context. So when you're referring back to that note or that idea, you exactly know why you wrote it down, what was your thinking behind it, and it will be easier for you to use it again and again and again in later stages of your life. So ideally, you should write it in a sticky note, but instead of sticking that note into your textbook, you should keep that note in a slip box. Now, I will explain this method that will be the last point, but for now, remember to take handwritten notes. Now, I myself don't use handwritten notes because it's very hard to keep them around and it's very hard to maintain them. Plus, I can't take it anywhere with me. But if you can take handwritten notes and you have a scanner, or you can use a smartphone, just scan the note and save it with you. But if you want to use a simpler way, but it's not that effective, it's still effective than regular note taking or highlighting and all those things, but not as effective as the handwritten notes, then you can follow my Notion templates. I'll link them down in the description. And later, after I discuss all the points, I'll discuss you how my Notion template and how all that works in Notion. So the third key idea is to take the bibliographical note of where you got the idea. So for example, if I got some idea, I wrote it down in my notes, and behind the note, I should write the name of the source from where I got the idea, from which book, from which article, page number, whatever I can write, so that it's easier for me to pinpoint that particular paragraph or that particular page. Now again, I use Notion for all these things. I'll explain you again after the last point, but you should take handwritten notes if you can, because they're way more effective. But if you want something which is easier, not that effective, you can use Notion. It's still effective than rereading and all those things, but not as efficient as taking notes, handwritten notes. Last point is that how you store these notes. And that is the most crucial part of all Zettelkasten method. The way you store these notes will allow you to easily access them, easily retrieve them, easily refer to them, and then whatever you're doing, maybe you're writing an article or creating a video, then it will be easier for you to do that, as you can easily find the note, as you can easily find the idea, you can easily find the source from where you got the idea, and if you want to read it again, you can easily read it. So the most important and most crucial part is how you store these notes. Now you should ideally store these notes in slip boxes, but at this day and age it's not easy to keep track of those boxes and you can't carry them around with you. So I use Notion for that, and I'll walk you through the whole process right now. So this is Notion. In my Notion there are 3 main tabs that I use every day: books, ideas, and my links. So let's go to books. Now after I downloaded Notion, I've only read 2 books. I'm currently reading Principles by Ray Dalio. So as you can see, these are the notes that I got from the book. I take down notes from each chapter and put it in a chapter name, and then if I get any idea, I link it to the idea. For example, here it is what is most important, and then I also categorize them based on the tags. For example, this one is related to investing, biography, and self-improvement. So I have added these 3 tags here. You can add more if you want. Then in ideas, I write all the ideas that I got from a book or from any article. And here also I categorize them based on the status, whether I'm writing anything about them, or it's just a thought, or I'm creating a video about it. And then I also categorize them based on topic. Is it related to programming, self-improvement, productivity, economics, whatever that is. And you can also search and filter these ideas if you want, so that's very helpful. Okay, now let's go to links. So in links, I store all the links related to, for example, any article or any video, and I store them here, and I categorize them on the basis of, like, is it a blog, article, video, or it's a podcast, research paper, whatever it is. You can also add more categories if you want. And then I also categorize them based on topic. Is it related to economics, programming, artificial intelligence, blockchain, whatever that is. As you can see, I have so many categories here. You can add more if you want, and this helps me to find anything which I want, and while I'm writing an article or creating video. So that's very helpful. So here, as you can see, I can link these links to my ideas. So if I get any idea from those links, I can just add it here, and it will be automatically added here. For example, while making this video, I learned about Zettelkasten method from this blog post by Nat Eliason. So here's the link to his website, and I have linked my YouTube video here. So if I click on it, I can directly go to my video, and if I click here, it's also linked, as you can see, how to take smart notes, and if I click on it, I go back to his article. So that's very helpful. The second technique that I'm going to talk about is known as Feynman technique. Now, Feynman technique is very simple and it's very easy to use. Feynman technique is named after a very famous physicist by the name Richard Feynman, and he has contributed a lot in the field of quantum physics. This technique is named after him because he was known as a very good teacher, and it was said that he could explain you any topic very simply. So the idea of Feynman technique is that whatever topic you're trying to understand, it can be of any field, not only physics, it can be anything. You should be able to explain it to a 5-year-old kid. So for example, if I'm studying computer science, then I should be able to teach the concept that I have learned to anyone in the world, to any 5-year-old kid, or basically to anyone who doesn't already know about it. So ideally it should not be the person who is from your own field, so it should not be someone who is also a computer scientist, because it's easier for them to understand that. But if you could explain it to someone who already don't have any knowledge about it, then that means that you are able to explain it in so easy words that anyone can understand, which basically means that you understand it very well. But if you're not able to explain that topic or someone can't understand it, that means you don't know it very well. So you should go back to your book, go back to your article or whatever, read it again, try to explain it again, and this time you should be able to explain it to that person. So these two methods, the Rilke-Carlson method and Feynman technique, will allow you to study more efficiently and you will really see better results. That's it for today. If these methods help you, then let me know in the comments, and even if they don't, then also let me know in the comments. Also, I'll be writing an article about it, which in the article I will explain why highlighting, rereading and note taking does not work, and 2 more techniques that you can use to improve your study.